What's up, everybody? Welcome to WesterBros Podcast. Today we're doing Star Wars. I'm Andrew Schulz. I'm here with my man Jack, my man Marco, and my man Hani. And the three of us just went to the iPic theater off of Marco's suggestion. Marco, you want to break down what iPic is?
So iPic is a reservation theater. You book your tickets in advance. You have an assigned seat. And the way the seating structure is they have regular seats in front, which are kind of like your more traditional movie seats, but they also have people that will serve you. And in the back, they have the premium seats, obviously what WesterBros went for here.
Economy and first class.
Basically these two-person pods, as I like to call them, with a nice little table in the middle, a call button on that table for any service that you might need, and two reclining chairs that fully extend back. With a nice, thick but not too thick fleece blanket and a pillow. That at maximum leverage going backwards, if you prop it up behind your head, you get just the right head tilt to the screen.
Which is huge. You would imagine if you leaned all the way back,
your head would come up a little.
Or it wouldn't. So now you get the pillow, pushes your head up, and you can watch the movie screen perfectly.
They thought of everything.
How much?
And they have a full menu.
Oh, full menu.
Full menu.
Let me just say, what time did we go see the movie today?
11:30.
11:30. Now, one would think maybe there's just one menu for the whole day. Au contraire.
There's a breakfast menu.
There's a breakfast menu. I had a beautiful breakfast quesadilla, scrambled eggs,
breakfast
guacamole.
Ended at 11:30, but they let you pre-order.
Why did they do that? Because we had the Supreme ticket.
We did have the premium tickets.
The premium. They asked me. The guy asked me. He goes,
what seats are you in?
He goes, it's Mexican. He goes, what kind of ticket do you have? I go, what do you mean? It depending what kind of ticket you have, if you can get the breakfast. And then I go, and then I text you. I go, what do you have? I go, do we have the premium? And then Marco just goes, duh.
Yeah. man. Come on.
So we hit up that breakfast, coffee, all that shit.
$29 a ticket. Worth it, in my opinion.
Wait, premium, first class, $29.
First class, $29. We don't even know what economy is. Ugh.
So, all right.
I thought it was like 60 a head.
Wait.
No. It's $29 ticket, but then you order some food, full bar.
Sure.
Free popcorn. Full bar.
That's right, free popcorn.
I did see that drink menu looked extensive.
Oh, there's a full bar.
They have delicious tequilas.
Okay.
At the iPics.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, this really is no joke.
Great margaritas.
Where if any of you guys were going to order it.
It was a little early to order a premium cocktail. I was thinking of getting something in the coffee, but I want to be focused for what we were talking about today. I should point out, we went, Alex, it was Alex who does our audio visual, Alex Media on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you check him. It was Marco and Hani and myself went. Jack did not go for multiple reasons.
Jack wasn't even actually invited.
Yeah.
But he also wasn't awake.
But he didn't want to go. Jack said it's hard to watch himself in the movie. Obviously, if you guys have seen Star Wars, know that Jack is like the second in command bad guy for the Empire.
General Hux.
Yeah. There could not be a more stark resemblance between two fucking people, dude. It's insane. Yeah, I almost feel like you dye your hair a little bit more brown so that you don't look so much like this guy. It's shocking.
This is incognito.
This is rather ironic because when General Hux hit the screen, Alex goes to me. Man, he looks like Andrew.
There's no.
Oh shit,
son! He texted me, but you think it looks
Alex
more? Fam, get Hux up on the screen. We're gonna put our faces next to the TV, and we gotta decide who it is.
I think Alex had an all white guys look alike moment.
Yeah,
That's what that is.
Son, you gotta get.
Son,
It's Jack, son. My man looks just like Jack. They got the same hairstyle, everything. Hold on.
Nose.
Look at that. That's a great one. We could zoom that up. And you, Jack, you got to do the image. And if you guys want to watch this, fam, hold on.
Yo, that hat is serious.
Who?
It's not even close.
It's not even close. It looks like Jack.
It kind of.
Yo, you're blind, B. I'm starting to think you're blind. How does that look like me?
I gotta get the sideburns going. The sideburn game is
There's better pics.
First of all, Jack is more ginge than I am. I'm no ginge.
I got a hint of ginge.
He's got blue eyes. Jack has blue eyes.
So mad because he's so anti-ginge.
I'm a little anti-ginge. I'm sorry.
Would you classify me as ginge?
No.
Listen, I do my best to avoid it.
I'm fringe ginge?
I ignore it. You're fringe
ginge. I'm a fringer.
Fringe ginge Jack in the motherfucking building.
Listen, depending on how the sun hits you, it can go either way.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take it.
All we're saying is keep shaving your beard. Don't let it grow out too much. Right? You can see the ginge coming through. Anyway, so we go to this iPic. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yo,
where is the
real
iPic?
quick? So
Yeah.
Fulton Street.
down by South Street Seaport.
Beautiful down there.
Nice.
Not this time of year, but beautiful.
Even this time of year.
Did
it
you talk
was-
about how the pods are set up?
Yeah.
So it's two
Recliners and a table in the middle with the call button.
But
literally-
two
like
apiece.
and like a
Two
wall,
two
so like
people
you
apiece.
can't see the person.
You can't
next
see
to
the people next to you. No, you're enclosed in this, so it feels like a personal movie experience with an excellently placed cup holder in the wall that drops down. Did you catch that?
No, hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on, because I think me and Alex fucked this all up, right?
Because I showed
Hold
Schulz.
on,
I was like, yo, press the wall, press the wall.
Yeah, that was great.
He presses the wall, and
so
the thing
great.
drops down, and he's like, oh,
It was
shit.
because I had my cup on the table, and I'm like, you know what's wrong with this is I got to reach too far for the thing, and all of a sudden Mark will just go, hey, watch this. Immediately, he just goes cup holder.
Yo,
It's like he sensed what was bothering me. We had everything. First of all, when you don't pay for popcorn, you disrespect it.
you
The
get a-
popcorn was on the table.
you get a free bag everywhere.
Marco flicked it out of the way. He fucking smacked it. He turned out like a Ric Flair moment. He just goes, woo!
we were trying to turn the table, the menu was away, and I just like hit
Just
the
get the
popcorn.
fuck out of here. Free popcorn.
It knocked over.
So I have a question for you. This may sound dumb, and I'm really gonna regret this answer that we have to give.
Oh boy, here we go.
Did the back of your chair? Does that go back? Do you go back?
Son, did you not go back on the
Did you not hit the button on the wall?
Son,
Were you
I
in
hit the
economy?
fucking
Button on the wall, and the legs came up.
Yeah.
And then the back.
And then
that's
the back
it.
comes back. And then you put
Yo,
the
you were in
pillow
coach.
Yo, this much.
You don't get fully, how are you going to get fully back and watch a movie? I don't understand.
Not like fully back, but it was just like it was almost just.
You
like,
go Hannibal Lecter.
You go 45 degrees, bro.
It was.
Remember-
it was
remember
like
when-
it was not even the amount that a plane chair goes back.
That's factually incorrect.
No. You're acting
That's
crazy. You're
ridiculous.
acting crazy right now.
That's ridiculous.
You're acting. That's a wild statement.
no.
That's a wild
You
statement.
hit the same button did both the legs and the back.
No. Yeah, you press the button, it just keeps on going. You got to
going.
hold it there
You
for a
gotta hold
while.
it.
Yeah,
And it keeps. I have a feeling you only got $20 worth of your ticket.
Seriously.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling you pressed the
got
wrong
down
button.
there.
He
and that's
wasn't
it.
sure he could eat the free popcorn. He left it on the table.
Yo, I bodied the free popcorn. I saw Alex didn't eat his. I almost bodied his.
Oh, I knocked over my free popcorn and went right to Schultz's and just grabbed it.
I will say, I didn't care because I had a fruit plate. I had a beautiful little fruit cup. I had my quesadilla.
perfect.
It was a great food.
was lovely.
And listen, I'm one of these guys. I don't like eating in the dark.
Yeah.
You know that stupid
like
restaurant
seeing
where they make you eat in the dark? I like seeing my food. I want to know if it's going to drip on me. Like there's a whole lot of things that are going on. I didn't mind it.
No.
I did not mind it. I felt completely comfortable consuming food in
Because
this
it's also
environment.
not your shit. Right? It's not your blanket. If I drop fucking salsa all over me, not my blanket, I'm tossing it to the side of the next guy.
I fucked up and didn't realize the blanket is also a bib.
Oh, it's a bit.
What?
Come on.
I did it. I put the blanket right here. I didn't realize you use the blanket
Yeah.
to stop, and you just wipe your fingers
I was
on it.
blowing
like-
my nose in that thing.
Were you in full recline mode eating?
I did it. I left it right here. I was in full recline mode, and I left it to the fucking side of me, and I was worried I was going to get a little orange on it or a little raspberry.
I hate those popcorn
That thing's
fingers.
brown for a reason, bro.
Dude,
Like-
exactly. Oh God, it was a great experience.
So iPic. Positive.
Best.
There's no other way to go. And also, we were
I
saying
will say that the other
Yeah.
theaters where the seats recline, like one we saw it.
Yeah.
I thought those chairs were
Better?
comparable, if not better.
No.
They were
The
not.
chairs, but now the pod. So the pod wall thing is interesting, right? So you feel like you're kind of
yourself.
secluded off, right?
It's like the Emirates first
you feel
class.
like you
when
have
they're
some
like-
exactly
privacy.
that. Yeah.
You feel like you have some privacy. So if you're there with one other person, that was actually really cool, right?
Say it, Mark.
But
Can you talk to your boy? Like if you're sitting next to someone?
yeah, so,
Right.
so the pod setup was Marco and Andrew in one pod, Alex and I in another pod.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So I could talk to Alex pretty easily, and you'd feel like you were kind of like had privacy, right?
Uh-huh.
But
What'd you guys
every
talk
now
about?
and then,
you guys talk about some good stuff? Oh no! Every once in a while, I pull the Wilson from Home Improvement. I just pop my head over the thing.
every now and then, so like all of us had seen the movie before except Andrew.
Yo, I was
so we
hyped.
knew some
I was
parts
hyped.
that kind of like
Yeah.
inside a reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Kylo Ren's pecs.
Yeah,
Holy
right.
shit!
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I had my
Sometimes-
Jason Momoa moment with him. Dude,
I just hear Andrew
which
over
team
the
am
wall.
I on?
I just hear Andrew over the wall make a reaction, and then when you kind of want to go look at your friend's face.
Yeah.
I just look at a wall, right?
That is
And
an
then-
issue.
But one time, Andrew popped up and just goes, "Hot." You see his face?
No, I didn't say hi. I popped up. I go body.
Yeah.
Yo, how many pods per theater? How big is the theater?
I was trying to do the math. I imagine the ticket is twice as expensive, so they do half the amount of seats.
Probably.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Big theater. I thought it was going to be small, intimate. Same size as if you go to like the one on Union Square, like the
Really?
Yeah, big. Almost, I wouldn't say IMAX size, but big, like
Good
a Times
sound,
Square.
good quality, everything.
Sound was
Sound was
everything. They just limit the amount of seats. I will agree with you if you want like a collaborative movie.
If you're
experience
going
where
with
you
a
want to bust
large group,
balls, you know.
Not the move.
Like
But if
we
you're
wouldn't have
going
been able to see it
one-on-one-
at this theater because we wouldn't have been making all the
See,
jokes.
I like it's like you're playing 2-on-2 basketball, right? Like you picked a team, and now you're in that pod with that guy in your foxhole, and now you're going to the foxhole. That's what I'm saying.
So here's the rough thing. If you buy one ticket, can you get potted with a stranger?
Probably.
I'm not doing that.
Is there a dating opportunity?
Yeah, you got to
here?
watch out for that.
Oh, and online, like just meet
Podding?
somebody?
You meet someone at the pod?
iPic.
That's one of your hobbies. I like movies. So that's the thing. You get set up blind date. You don't know who it is. They match you up in a pod.
That's our second dating app. We have a breakup app.
We have Ditch.
We have Ditch, and then we have.
Which Alex is going to blurt out on the podcast when he says it.
No. We got to let the people
Until
know.
we license it.
Okay, this is an interesting idea. Now, if we already have a girl, I think
spot.
it's a great spot.
Great,
And
yeah.
Marco and I were talking about this. Marco, say what you were saying.
Because when you go, you're going to a movie, right? Which you
Yep.
both want to see, hopefully, and you get to see the movie. But
Yep.
you're also making her feel special.
It's an
And
experience.
you're getting
It's an
dinner.
experience.
You're
Yeah.
getting drinks. You're getting
Yeah.
everything in one.
And she feels like she's getting the full package.
Yep.
And you're seeing the movie, and you don't have to talk to her.
And I
And
promise you,
for less than everything would be normal.
Best date ever.
and no, Jack has a good point. Less than everything would
Less
be
than
normal.
dinner, like a normal dinner would be.
yeah,
Do you know how
way
much my eggs and all that things are? I got a bunch of things.
Was it good?
$22.
Yeah.
Good?
Excellent. But here's the thing. It's just a fucking movie date, but it's not. Because this is the only place that they'll do it. And a lot of girls probably haven't even been to this iPic.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's more kind of like movie buffs that are going to this.
I'd imagine so too.
Right?
Because you can actually sign up for like year-long plans, like to be like a gold member. It's like $30 a year. And you get like special
Breakfast
access
all
to-
day.
Yeah, breakfast all day.
That'd
maybe.
be hot.
Right?
Are you a gold member?
Who was the player on the Sixers that was injured for most of the time and then he just got traded?
Joel
Okafor, yeah, I saw him last night.
Okafor.
Yeah.
No, Okafor used to come from Philly to this iPic just because he wasn't doing anything. He was injured. He wasn't traveling with the team.
I mean, he was
To this one on Fulton Street?
Yeah, Okafor
He just wasn't
loved-
playing.
he was DNP coach's decision.
Yeah.
No, but Okafor wasn't he hurt for a while?
Nah, he was just getting
But
DUIs.
I remember reading an article where
All right, whatever.
On the way to
Okafor
the-
was
on the way
coming-
back from the
Dude,
iPic.
that's why he was getting the DUIs. He was driving like a $150 on
Yeah,
the highway
to get back
just
to
to see
iPic.
iPic. Yeah. That's how good iPic is. You throw away your NBA career for this shit.
Philadelphia doesn't have an iPic?
I guess not, because Okafor was coming
Goddamn.
up to New York, or maybe he was training. I don't know, but Okafor was in the Fulton Street iPic a lot.
I respect it.
Wow.
I remember reading this article a while ago.
You saw him last night
Yeah.
on the Nets,
My
right?
nosebleeds.
He's
Yeah.
not playing, is he?
Yeah, he played a little bit.
No,
He
they're
had
giving him.
he
They're
had
giving him minutes.
He had like
thought.
13 points,
Not
12
at
minutes.
first. He was
Yeah.
out of shape.
Okay, so let's start talking about fucking Star Wars. I mean, and first of all, I just want to point out, iPic is not sponsored this podcast
But they should.
yet.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see.
We got some cool ideas. I always like speaking our ideas on, that we talk about behind the scenes on a podcast because I think it holds us accountable. It's like, let's make it happen. But I was talking to the guys about this yesterday, and I think it'd be so cool if we host a premiere. We could do it for a TV show, we could do it for a film, but we basically rent out a theater, have you guys that listen to podcasts come watch the movie with us, and then we do a live podcast right afterwards.
Yeah.
I love the idea of doing like a special iPic screening of something like that. Maybe we could get them involved and then get you all who listen free tickets to come see an iPic screening with us. Maybe we could do the pod after. But I think there's some cool collaborative things that we could do, especially with shows that everybody's really into. And I think Marco and Haney said, or maybe it was Alex said something about maybe just even watching it at a bar.
Yeah.
But a bar of our choice, or maybe it was you who said it, but like a bar of our choice, we have a nice big screen, and then we just get this. It's got to be the right show. It's got to be a Game of Thrones or like a weekly, etc. But
I said it. I'll take the credit.
okay, Marco, you
Or
said
like a finale. Like if we're doing like Westworld, the finale of Westworld, we host at a thing and do it with the.
What I'd love is to do like the weekly at just a regular bar, and then finale do a theater. Like blow out the thing. But that's
Great
what we
idea.
want to do with you guys who listen. So
Logistically, we have no idea how to make that happen right now.
So
Put
if
that
you're
on the
listening
table.
and you got hookups at a bar, you got hookups at a movie theater company, you got hookups at any of these different types of things, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm not on Twitter. I am on Instagram. Slide in the DMs. And then let's talk business and make this shit happen. Everybody needs help to make their dreams come true. So help ours come true. All right, let's start this shit.
So First impression, this is the first time you saw it right now,
yeah.
so I want to get that fresh.
I'm also the least Star Wars fan of all of us.
Fair.
Not that I don't like it. I don't. I had to ask
you've seen all of
certain
it.
things. I've seen everything.
Okay.
Unbelievable. I was hyped. I had multiple audible reactions.
Yes.
Like there was multiple. Yo, what?
Visually amazing.
Incredible.
Yo, shout out to Ryan Johnson. Killed it.
He's the director. So there's one scene in it for everybody watching. I leaned over to talk to Marco about it because I just need to express this. When they're in the casino, and I'm sure you probably picked up on this, Jack, there's one shot.
The opening
shot of the casino. And what it is a camera going through the casino. And what's very important to note, there are tables that they're playing games on, and it's going through the table. It's going over the tables. So the logistics of that shot are tricky because you can't put it on a track on the ground.
Right.
It's either a drone shot, which I doubt you're going to fly that stable, or they track the fucking ceiling
with the camera.
Is that what they do for a shot like that?
Probably. I'd have to look at the shot again, but
it's like the NFL with the cameras on the lines.
Yeah, the cord. So you're getting an above shot going right through the casino. It was just so cool. I mean, besides all the special effects and all that kind of stuff, I fucking loved it. I thought that they gave us, I would argue, even too much. I thought you could cut down the last battle scene between Luke and Kylo.
Just take out the casino. I hated the casino thing.
What, you hated it?
Yeah, I hated the casino part because it's like the whole. First of all, the timeline.
I'm just talking about visually how the
it was
shot
cool.
went.
Sure.
But all I'm saying is, I feel like the movie gave us so much. If they cut it right before Kylo and Luke fought, if that was like the to be continued,
I was hoping that. Yeah,
I would still have been like, "Whoa, that was a hell of a movie."
There's a reason they didn't do that, but
okay,
I hear you.
Okay, so that is my take from it. Now I have like little more nuanced takes that we could get into now if you want. Or
Did
maybe
you like it better than the last one, The Force Awakens?
Honestly, elicits similar emotions. Like what I would say about both of these movies is you don't need to be a Star Wars fan to enjoy it.
Right.
Like this is, and I felt the same way about those Star Trek movies that came out recently. Like you could know nothing about the history of Star Trek, walk and watch this movie and be like, this is fucking.
Well, that's J.J.
fun.
Abrams too, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's kind of the genius of what J.J. Abrams. That's what he brings to the table is that he can make it
digestible for everyone,
digestible for a new generation. So like there's like the young kids that probably like Kylo Ren more than Darth Vader, right? Because they're watching these movies more than
they don't even know Darth Vader.
So there's an impossible task with this, and I think Ryan Johnson, this is what he did the excellent job of, is that this is a type of movie where you have to make it for everyone. Yeah, right? You have to make it for Star Wars fans. You have to make it for young kids.
Impossible task.
You have to make it for. And normally, when they say if you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one, right? Impossible task. I think the genius of this movie is that he was able to do it. Yep. And from my perspective, and like the Star Wars fans we'll talk about this later, who like didn't like it, are incorrect. And there's a right. What
is their argument for not? Or maybe you
want to go into that later? Or?
All right, we'll get into it later. Again. So,
Jack, you like it?
I liked it a lot, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about Star Wars. Everybody has a different relationship with Star Wars. They have their own version of what they think it should be. So not everyone's going to be happy with it.
Right.
I don't have that personal thing where it's like my Star Wars is this. It's like I just enjoyed it. I had a
because it's not ours.
Right. It's not
ours.
That's
the thing. It's not ours. It's art. And it's
but you have to understand it's so precious to so many people that
you know what I'm saying?
It's like life or death. Like every little nuanced thing is.
Can you guys explain to me what the haters didn't like about it?
So
what's the backlash?
So here it is, right?
And make sure the microphone isn't too far.
You have to look at this. Star Wars is like the Star Wars canon, it's called.
It's all about the canon, yeah.
So it's all about the canon. So that is like what is gospel, the official Star Wars storyline. Because at some point after the first few movies came out, all these books came out of all these from different authors, right?
About the world.
About the Star Wars world, right? Okay. There's so much literature on it. It's like 50, 60 books now. And it's all different pieces of it, before, after, between, all that stuff, right?
Okay.
So that's the Star Wars extended universe. From that, they will sometimes pull certain concepts or borrow some things and create what is the Lucasfilm actually 9 chapters now book, which is the canon.
So the canon are the original 9, is that correct?
Not the original 9, because they're still these are newly written.
9. They're on 8
these aren't.
Yeah, these aren't like when episode 4 came out.
Yeah,
episode 1 wasn't really written.
You know what I mean? Okay, now, okay.
But the important thing is that when Lucasfilm was acquired by Disney, they made a strict decision to say the canon books and all of the comic books and video games and all that stuff, that's not canon. We're deciding what's canon. So basically just the movies and Attack of the Clones animated show are canon.
They have a 12-man team called Lucasfilm Story Group that actually is the one who guides, like they'll guide Ryan Johnson into the script. because like it takes what tells you what's going to be canon for this, what's acceptable.
Which is also what they do for Marvel, which is owned by Disney. So
Right.
Disney
And given
just
how much money this makes, those 12 men are like the most powerful people.
I think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
crazy.
How many
Yeah.
disciples
Insane.
were there?
12, yeah.
So there's a reason it's a canon.
It's like
and
the
there's
Jedi
12
Council.
disciples.
That's
and
wild.
This is the Jesus story.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not stupid when they're putting this together. And this is how. What
So
if,
that's part of the criticism.
What if
right?
5,000 years from now or 2,000 years from now, this is
The religion?
Yeah.
It's
But-
set up the exact same way.
That's the criticism, right?
well,
the criticism
Is
I
people
felt,
who weren't the original writers are deciding what the world is?
No, not that. Specifically to the movies, it's that Luke is the savior character, and he's supposed to be like the perfect hero. And these people have a special, who are big Star Wars fans, have a special relationship with Luke, and they think that the way he was portrayed in this movie is not possible. Right?
Because Luke wouldn't be a bad guy.
He wouldn't quit. He wouldn't quit. He wouldn't have had that moment of weakness with Kylo, and he wouldn't have. He's not someone who would need of coaxing to come back to help the rebellion. Like that's not who at the core of Luke Skywalker is. Because this was a man who was so idealistic that he actually threw down his lightsaber because he knew that he was not going to kill his own father to prove a point. Right? He's the ultimate idealist, and then he bet on basically his father turning and saving him in that moment.
And so I understand why they're upset. This
But
is a huge character change.
Yeah. But that's why I love it, because he went that way. He took that decision and went that way with Luke. Like,
Yo,
Yeah,
that shit's real, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
But life is too real for these kids, and that's why they love Luke.
Right. But it's funny, man, because
And
it's like as
that's why they love
secular as
the
our
character.
country is coming and going away from religion,
Yeah.
everyone's still looking for fucking Jesus. And Luke Skywalker is their
Is Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Of
You know what I
course,
mean?
that's all we do.
But
This is baffling to me.
Yo,
This is
but
crazy.
come on,
the thing
bro.
is why I like it. The thing is why I like it is it's
Can we
reali-
just real quick? Can we acknowledge that point right there?
Yeah.
The people who have the greatest success with movie franchises take biblical elements and turn them into stories. Star Wars, Jesus story. Harry Potter is no different. Orphan kid has magical powers. You know what I mean? Like finds it's the same exact story over. And if you can tell the story right.
Right.
I mean, look at fucking Spider-Man in a lot of ways. If you can tell these stories right, we'll attach it. And I think it speaks more, not to the idea that like Jesus is real or this God is real, or that God is real. It's that the Jesus story and the stories that surround it are the greatest stories ever told.
Right.
They're from thousands of years of storytelling.
Yeah.
These were the greatest ones that fucking existed because there's no printing press.
Right.
What do we keep telling? These same 20, 30, 40 stories. And they have this hero quality in them, and it organically existed. So if you can tap into that, you can be richer than the queen.
Right.
So it's like New Testament versus Old Testament.
Right. And the reason I liked it is because not just that they made the change, but they made it more realistic, right? None of our heroes, especially today, are perfect.
Yeah.
And sometimes the things that make them great are their imperfections. Like you think of like when you were growing up, like Michael Jordan was like God.
Yeah.
To certainly our generation, right? And especially me, I was like a huge Jordan guy who's like so perfect. Nothing he could do was wrong. And in that era, like his image was very well protected, right? Yeah. But then you find out, he cheats on his wife, he gambles, he does all these things. Like he's still not a perfect person.
Right.
And you realize how sometimes his competitive, the way he was a negative in a lot of ways, right? Yeah. But he's so deified that you're afraid as a fan of his to be critical, like you want to protect him because that's your hero. But it's not realistic. All of our heroes, all guys throughout history that were great presidents or whatever, like turned out to be like drunks and womanizers. Like, everyone has their flaws.
Greatness has a cost.
So I don't think that having your hero have a flaw or a moment of weakness is a bad thing I think it's very realistic. It's a realistic depiction of what could happen. And think about if you're Luke Skywalker, like you just put down the Empire, you just did this. You don't want to go through this again. Like, what is it? If you're that guy, you're Luke Skywalker, and it's 20 years later, it's like, dude, I'm going to do this fucking again. Yeah. Like, I'm not the 25-year-old kid I was. I'm like an old man now, man. Like, I'm not trying to do this. Like, we should have stability and peace. So, like, if I had the chance to nip this in the bud, like, maybe I do it. So, like, to me, it was like, it felt real.
It's the age-old, what is it, hypothetical. If you could go back and kill Hitler as a baby, would you do it?
Exactly. That's what it is.
And it's, you would want to say, I would want to do it. But then when you're faced with the moment of having to kill Hitler as a baby, it's like,
and then you say,
baby.
maybe things will turn out differently this time, right? Like, so that's, I don't think
maybe he turned into Hitler because you were trying to kill him as a fucking baby. Right? Shit, this is what the story is. He went and had a second thought, and then Kylo Ren turns into fucking Hitler.
And I think that when that all happened and it fell apart, I love the fact that Luke acknowledged the fact that the Jedi Order is cloaked in failure, right? Like the history of the Jedi Order is really failure.
Oh, there was a
too much. I could understand how that could then become too much for me. Like he's now failed again, where he's seen so much failure where the Jedi were extinct.
Yeah,
like I could see how you could become so dejected in that moment where you just want to be isolated and be like, go figure this out.
And he has that moment where he's in. I even wrote down a quote: "Failure is the greatest teacher."
Right.
And then he goes,
Yoda told him that.
Yeah. Yoda says to him, failure is the greatest teacher, which is so true. Adversity introduces a man to himself. There's many different ways to say this, but like if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. There's tons of these like, self-help quotes, which are all true, right? And then he goes, masters, we are what they grow beyond.
That is the true burden of masters.
Right. Which is you're creating something will be better than you. Yeah.
And that's how you're judged as a master. Not that you were the greatest Jedi, but like that you then made someone better than you.
Yeah.
That's what your burden is.
Yeah.
That's what I took it as.
And he wasn't ready to do that because of the fear of him becoming even more powerful than a Darth Vader.
Yeah.
What annoyed me and what was so great about it was that Kylo never was told that he wasn't actually going to kill him. That it was the moment of... that he had this moment of, I don't want to go through this. And then he was like, listen, I'm not going to do it. It was just a fleeting moment.
Right.
So he's still holding on to this idea.
Because from Kylo's perspective, he might not have known that. That might be legitimate for him. Right?
This whole series is daddy issues.
I believe that.
Think about it, right? Kylo's daddy issue is he didn't know, this is his father figure who then is about to kill him. And then he has this new father figure, Snoke, who's just a piece of shit to him.
Right.
And he'll do anything to please, right? And then Shorty, what's her name? Who's so stunningly beautiful.
Daisy Ridley.
Right, yeah. Oh my God. It's like,
I'm in.
I know you are, but it is like
she looks particularly great in this one.
Hard to look at.
Adorable.
Natural beauty.
Just fantastic.
And her daddy issues the whole time. Who are my parents? Who are my parents? And you're saying parents to be polite. Who's my dad? No one's really searching for the mom like that. Let's be honest, right? And that's what the motivating factor is for her the entire time. She's just trying to. She jumped into the hole.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing with Luke in the original trilogy.
But so that to carry on that's another piece of the criticism was that Rey's lineage meant nothing.
Yeah, but
I don't believe that's real.
I think in the next movie
we're going to find out.
No, I liked it.
Ray was just saying,
I liked it, and I believe it's real. Like I don't think like LeBron James is just some kid from Ohio. Like he's not doesn't come from any great gene or genetic. You know what I'm saying? Like these heroes can come from nowhere. I don't feel like
I have a feeling there might have been a little infidelity in that family.
But in the entire universe, it's like
I have a feeling that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar made a sled into Cleveland for a game, and then I think that his mom might have been in Akron. Yeah, I think there might have been a little convenience in that situation. LeBron goes 6'8", 260, the most perfect human specimen out of fucking nowhere. I'm just saying. Are you kidding me? It can happen. And imagine if he was well fed. This is probably poor, not great nutrient diet producing the greatest human specimen in history.
Yeah.
Imagine he grew up in Greenwich, Connecticut, eating organic kale his entire life. He's got to be 7'7".
I get it. But I just think that even if it is true, it doesn't bother me because you have this great universe and like it doesn't have to be about fucking Skywalkers and Solos.
Anakin was a nobody.
Huh?
Anakin was a nobody.
Anakin was created by the Force.
I'm with you. I think it's a possibility. But I also think that they're throwing us for a loop.
Sure, maybe.
They're throwing the scent off the trail.
I hope not.
And eventually we'll find there's some kind of connection.
I hope that they were drunk traders and they're nothing. And that she's just fulfilling her destiny.
And you know what? That'd actually be more relatable because all these kids that watch this movie, they're nothing.
Exactly.
And they get... No, I mean that all of us. We don't come from fucking kings and queens. You know what I mean?
That line was excellently delivered by Driver. Remember he said, you're nothing.
Like he stepped out of character. He turned back into, you're nothing, bro.
You're nothing.
He said, bro, right? He's like, Shorty, you're trash.
That was the best. That was actually but what a gift he is.
The pecs.
What about the kid at the end? Right? Like the last scene, that kid that's in the casino town kind of comes out. You see, he has the power. He pulls the broom to him.
Yeah.
Did you not catch that?
That's a corporate ending.
You didn't see that? This is big.
That little kid, he walks out by himself, and before he grabs,
you didn't see that?
He grabs the broom.
I was probably like, I don't know. I missed that.
You were cleaning the cum off your stomach.
Right? It looked like, remember that Genuine video?
Yeah.
Where he took the broom and started dancing.
Yes, I do know. Basically, he used the Force to make the broom come to his hand.
The kid who got the rebel.
And then he has the rebel ring that he got from the Asian chick.
Right.
right? So he starts sweeping up and he's looking into the sky, and then you see a thing. And
This
the
kid's a
idea
nothing
is
kid too.
Right. No, I'm into it.
But the
With
theme
the
is
power.
we're the spark that starts the flame, right? And
But the
just
real
them
theme
being
is there's another trilogy coming after this trilogy.
about the
It's gonna be
kids.
Yeah.
No, we have the kids.
It's just a
trilogy.
corporate ending.
Well,
by
Ryan
Disney.
Johnson has signed on not to do the next film, but his own separate trilogy.
That's why, because of that ending. Because he's
We're
gonna do a
gonna
whole
just
new-
like X-Men got the kids.
Exactly.
Now we
New
have
class.
new
Star
class.
Wars new class.
Star Wars new class, which is smart. Let them go, and people will make millions of dollars.
And then the other criticism that you hit on already too, you talked about with Snoke, is that he was killed with no backstory. Fine with it. I was fine with that.
I wasn't
too.
fine with it at all.
What do you mean killed with no backstory?
You didn't really get to
You
know
don't know
who Snoke
anything
was
about
or
Snoke.
anything about who
Yeah.
he is.
He's built up in the first movie as the big bad, right? He's the emperor, and then we know nothing about him, and he just fucking dies.
Yeah, how does he become the emperor? Why does his face look like a testicle?
So
Exactly.
so a lot of people didn't like that. I didn't bother me because like when you look back to the first 3 Star Wars, like no one really gave a fuck who the Emperor was. It was Vader. Everyone still talks about Vader, right? So yeah, you had that great moment at the end of Return of the Jedi, and that's when you really first get to see Palpatine, which was great. But like, I think that Ryan Johnson probably sensed from the audience that like no one really cares about Snoke. They care about Kylo.
care about the guy.
Let's just speed it up and get it to about him.
It's
real
also a
quick,
sense-
real quick. Palpatine and was Snoke in this one?
He was the Emperor.
We're both emperors, right?
They're the master.
Supreme beings or whatever.
You can have 2 Sith Lords at any time. One a master, one an
apprentice.
And he was the Emperor and the master. Vader was his apprentice.
So Palpatine was the first master, and then in this one, Snoke is the master.
Correct.
Yeah.
Being a master, horrible for your skin. I
Yeah,
think it's
not great.
not good for your skin.
Not great.
Ages you. It is very difficult to be a master. So
Correct.
maybe a little acknowledgement.
I got a little bit of a Game of Thrones influence in that part of the plot. Is that like it's kind of out with the old generation, in with the new, the younger generation. It's like the killing of Tywin, the killing of Snoke. Like out with the past, kill the past.
past.
Yeah, kill the past.
Kill
That's
the
what he said.
past.
He says that a lot. in the
Well,
movie.
that makes it more believable. Like when you see someone like Palpatine and you're saying like, how could this guy Palpatine, who just feels evil, right, because of his face and everything like that,
Yeah.
how could Luke be drawn to join this guy? You know he's evil, right? When they kill off Snoke and they have that moment in the throne room, like, and I looked at you and I was like, not a bad offer. When he's like, listen, fuck Snoke. He's dead.
Yep.
Fuck that guy. He's evil.
Yeah.
It's me and you. Like, why can't we do this? Fuck the First Order. Fuck the rebellion. Because the rebellion's now the Republic's been in power now since the last one. So they're fucking up again because they can't get peace right either. And so now he's saying, like, why don't we do this together? It's just, at least to me, made it more believable that Rey could actually be lured in by that. Like, that actually seems like something that could be
Well,
felt
maybe
real.
she's becoming
She's
the
too
Luke.
idealist.
Well, she's
She's
becoming
the
the Luke
ideal.
fold.
No, I'm not saying. I know why she didn't. I'm saying
okay.
that makes it
So,
believable.
let's acknowledge
Snoke
that.
luring someone in is not believable because you could just feel how
Evil he is. But Adam, she
The same
believes
way
in
that
him,
the story-
trusts him,
Oh, yeah, the
senses.
same way
Gotcha.
that same way the Emperor.
I think it was a great deal.
Yeah.
And maybe this can get us into my biggest problem with the Star Wars series in general. But I think it'd be a great deal because she could have easily negotiated for the survival of her people. She goes, listen, I'll be on you. There's 20 people over there.
Right.
Do me a favor. Don't kill those people. Bring them aboard the ship. Take away the suits. Not everybody has to have a suit.
And maybe this what balance really means, right? If we do this together, maybe they balance each other out. Right?
And maybe that is what happens in the final one. So because there's a lot of let the past go. So they're priming us to let the past go. Not just them. They're
Right.
priming the audience. Forget that he killed his dad.
Right.
Forget that he's done this. He didn't kill his mom.
Right.
These are major moments.
Right.
And that they want us to know as an audience. I think they're priming us to forgive Adam. And in a weird way, maybe they both rule. There has to be a king, there has to be a queen. Like there's these two things that come together. Maybe
But when they
that's
talk
what
about the balance of the Force, maybe that's what they mean.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
brings
yes.
balance.
I'm gonna argue against that.
Okay,
right?
go.
'Cause so in this movie, the first time I saw this movie, like you're kind of like, so Rey, she's attracted to the dark side, right? Isn't that what Luke
Girls
tells her?
love bad
You went
boys.
straight to the dark side.
No,
When
no,
she
it's not that
started
she's
getting-
attracted to it, it's that she's not rejecting it right away.
Right.
She's trying to feel it out. She doesn't know.
You're
all
kind
of
of watching. I think they did. Like you're kind of watching. Like, oh, is she gonna go dark?
it. Right.
Right. And at one point, I was like, this would be amazing if this switch. This ends up where she's the bad and he's the good.
No, that couldn't happen.
But I had that thought for like 5 minutes when
Sure.
the first time I watched the movie. I don't think that's the case anymore, right?
Well, he killed his dad. Like you can't fully come
I
back
get
and
you,
become
right?
the good guy.
Now, you're watching Driver. You're kind of like, you really like him. Like, at least when I watch it,
Yeah.
I really like him.
But you like him because he's a quality actor.
I like him because he's a quality actor, but
He's
like,
giving a great
No, but the
performance.
performance he's giving is also like, I'm conflicted. You're seeing like a frightened
Kid.
Right.
That's the size with pecs the size.
His wingspan is wild.
Great pecs. Yeah.
Disproportionate wingspan.
Peculiar gait. Usually, people that tall aren't that kind of pigeon-toed, but he's a. I've actually met
a thick dude.
Yeah.
You met him?
Well, he's with Gersh.
Oh, okay.
But he's with my age, so I've seen him walk out of the fucking thing, and I just wave.
Oh, hey, shout out former Marine.
That's right. That's another thing I was going to say. Like the dude, you think that he's this soft beta male in the show Girls.
He's an enlisted Marine.
Dude's an enlisted Marine. Yeah, he put the work in.
I've seen him walk down the street. He walks the exact same way.
Yeah.
He's a fucking presence. But anyway, that scene, right? The last time they see each other and they look at each other, he just enters. They escape, right?
He's a presence.
He's a presence. Sorry.
I talked about his pecs, but there's nothing as gay as saying another man is a presence.
I'm telling you, he is a presence.
On a crowded New York street, that motherfucker was up. And I looked at his face, and I was like, oh, shit, that's homie from Girls.
You knew his name. You knew exactly who he was.
No, he is a presence.
What were you saying?
That last scene, right, where, like, they see each other, and then she closes the door on his face.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that was the defining, like, she's going to go on, be the good. He's now alone as fuck. He has no Snoke. He has no one over him. He's got Hux, who really doesn't fuck with him.
Yeah.
He's alone. He was alone in that room, and I think that was a metaphor for, like, he's alone in life now. And now he's going to go fully.
They say it to each other. He says, you're not alone. And she says to him, you're not either.
But now he is.
Right.
And so is she, technically. But you don't know yet. It's not over. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, the thing with the pull to the light and the darkness, it just doesn't end.
No, but he's saying, I think now he goes full bad. He completely breaks bad.
Right.
And that's why I'm shooting down your theory of, like, maybe they come in together at the end.
That's a fair assumption.
I think look at that. I think he is, I think that's it.
He's full bad.
He becomes full villain.
He already has by the end of this.
And then you're actually going to feel bad when they actually have to kill him.
But the thing is, the whole point of this is that it never fully ends. Like Luke says,
it's a constant balance.
Luke says to
Benicio put it the best.
No. Luke says to
Benicio always puts it the best.
No. Luke says it to Leia.
He's a presence.
Yeah, he's good. But Luke says it to Leia that no one's ever really gone when she's talking about son. Just like Vader was never technically really gone because he made that switch at the very end.
Right.
Even though he's not redeemable because he's done unredeemable things. But you could tell that it's a constant thing.
Is that going to be the same ending to this?
No, I hope not. But the problem is that J.J. Abrams is signing on to do the third one, which gives me pause.
Why?
It might be. Because the first one, so my whole thing is I didn't like The Force Awakens that much. I thought visually it was great, especially compared to the first three prequels.
It didn't take any risks. It just did the same exact thing, carbon copy.
But it was a carbon copy of Episode 4, A New Hope. It was blow up the Death Star. It was Han Solo slick talking. It was the orphan from fucking the Sandy Planet. And it was exactly the same. And with a lightsaber scene. And then there was also some things that were weird. It was like, well, how did Rey just beat Kylo Ren when she's never picked up a lightsaber before? I liked that this movie addressed that in the beginning and said, Snoke says you were split.
Pathetic,
Like you were totally unhinged by the fact that you killed your dad and that's why you got bested with her. I needed that explanation because I walked away from the first one thinking this shit doesn't even make fucking sense. Right? So there was no risk taking. And this one, I thought Rian Johnson went in there and totally fucking made it his own.
So Ryan directed
this
one.
Wrote and directed,
and then JJ is going to direct the next one.
Correct. They had someone else sign up.
Why wouldn't Ryan do it?
Because they gave Ryan his own trilogy.
So why would he knock this last one out and then do
You can't do two in a row with this level of movie, this high level. It's like 2-3 years out of your life.
Oh,
to go
that
back
demanding.
So like J.J. Abrams did the first one. He took a couple of years off. Now he's going in the last one. You can't go back to back.
It's that intense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really?
Did Lucas do all of them?
Yeah.
He did. No,
I'm talking about the first.
He only directed the first one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So real quick, with their decision to do the carbon copy of Episode 4, I think that was not only done purposely, but an intelligent decision for getting
tell the story to new fans.
Exactly. And they care more about the new fans because the reality of the matter is they know the old fans are watching it regardless. So why not get these new fans, kind of like myself, on board and invested in this cool story with the most perfect story ever told already at your disposal?
So the funny thing is that the first one, A Force Awakens, was not as big with critics, but was huge with the Star Wars
fans because it was safe.
Because the fanboys, it was safe. It was what they liked.
It didn't kill the past.
Story,
It didn't kill the past.
And then you're also bringing in new fans.
Yep. Who loved it.
But I guess more critical movie fans were the ones who didn't like it.
Well, you guys, I would say a little bit more critical, right?
But I'm also like a fanboy a little bit too. Like I really like this stuff.
But
All the shit
I would
that we
say
talk
you're
about,
picky with content. And
extremely.
Exactly. So that's where you're going to nitpick on it. And then, Jack, obviously, you're so invested being in the business, you're going to see that this is a carbon copy.
Yeah. I really walked away from Force Awakens being like, oh, this whole trilogy is fucked. Yeah. But this totally brought it back for me. I still have gripes with this movie, but
what are your gripes? Don't you think that the third one's going to be fucked as well?
I feel like now that Ryan has had his fingerprints on it, JJ can't really go back to like a formulaic third movie. Hopefully.
Wait, what were your gripes?
He might find a way.
Hopefully.
Well, I think that the story is going to be the story, right? Like it'll get written. Who's writing the script? So
JJ
they have that council.
They actually had someone else. They've already thrown him off, and JJ's doing it.
Well, and Lawrence Kasdan, who's like been the writer all along, he's a part of it.
But the reality of the matter is, no matter who directs it, JJ has to okay it.
Like this movie was fucking dope.
So they're not going to make anything without JJ's approval. Even Rian Johnson's
even this one
thing. Yeah. So he gives the ultimate okay. Correct. So whether JJ writes it or this guy Kasdan writes it or whatever, JJ is the one who's ultimately giving permission.
Opening scene of the movie.
Incredible.
Fantastic.
Oscar Isaac. What's his name?
Isaac.
Right?
Yeah, Poe Dameron.
Poe.
Stupid
right?
name.
So he's he trolls General Hux, right? It's funny. Like it's kind of building up this thing. Then the funny thing, we talked about this in Justice League. They don't take
doesn't take himself too serious. It's a little He's got a little Han Solo in him.
Is J.J. Abrams going to do this? Did he do this in the first one? I don't recall.
No, not so much, or it wasn't as good.
But it breaks the ice right off the bat.
Right.
And it was just...
Who knows? I mean, you got to give him a chance to do it, but I hear what your point.
Yet another man leaves... what's the shorty's name again? Ray. Did you guys notice this?
Well, I noticed that there's like a love...
Yet another man leaves Ray. I think what it really was is the producers were like, listen, we want Oscar Isaac to fuck Ray.
You saw the look that they gave each other.
Who? Oscar Isaac and Ray?
Hell yeah,
I saw that look.
That they hadn't met.
He said, I know. She's like, I'm Ray. He's like,
I know. Yeah, he'd been whacking off to you in hyperspeed.
Look at her. Oh,
she's stunning. But I think the producers, and realistically speaking, when I saw the first one, I thought his character was too goofy to handle a Ray.
Oscar Isaac's a good-looking dude.
Not Oscar.
Finn?
Finn. Yes. So I thought Finn was too goofy for a Ray. I think you need another hero. You need a Han Solo for alpha, Ray, bro. Right? You need that alpha. And I think that Finn deserves a portly Asian. You know what I mean? I think that's a perfect collab. Don't you think that works great?
I do.
Do you think that the portly Asian really wins that?
Fam, how they gave the Asians the yin and yang. Like, that was too on the button. Like, her yin and yang necklace? That was crazy.
If you're Finn, right, you have the Jedi.
Pretty Jedi. Pretty Jedi's going with Poe, bro.
That's the flip today.
No, but when she hugged Finn, man, there was a lot of love there.
That was friends, son. That was friends.
No, when she lifted the rocks and Finn runs down, they hug each other. That was more than just like that wasn't a friend zone hug.
That was friend zone. They would have kissed. Well,
that's the rectangle.
That's the rectangle. Rose is into Finn. Finn's still into Ray. And Ray might be into
Finn was it seemed like Finn was kind of into Rose.
Finn fucks with Rose.
No, kind of, but not.
Tucked her in.
Well, he don't want her to die,
son. Who was more comfortable, Rose or us at the iPic with our blankets?
She was out. What are your criticisms?
What did you not like?
I have like logistical things.
Let's go.
The whole thing in the beginning where the dude who looks like me, apparently, General Hux, is like, it's just a matter of time. And then they're just following the fucking ship, and it's like, all right, this is gonna be the rest of the movie, right? They set that it's like 18 hours or whatever. What do they say? It's gonna be 18 hours, right?
9 hours.
All of a sudden, they're like, and so this is like the whole formula for Empire Strikes Back, and it's kind of similar here, where it's like the Jedi are off doing their thing, and the Help are all like trying to do their little missions, and at the end they join together. My problem was they're like, all right, let's go down to this casino, and then they get to the casino and they're like, whoa, look at this, they're like hanging out.
So the casino thing was not good.
The casino thing sucked. Like, just take out the casino. I feel like they needed that. I feel like that was like a studio decision to be like, we need a locale, because part of Star Wars is all about like the planet that they go to, and like it goes into like sales of like toys and all that stuff. 100%. But like the whole movie takes place in space, like in a ship, so they had to have like a place to go.
Those
to me, it was just
fucking
like
horse things.
That's just a toy.
20 years. Yeah, they need that.
So I had a problem with that. And then you get into like timeline where like Rey is on this planet. She's there for like 3 days, but only like a day of the movie takes place basically in a day, and Rey is there.
So hold on. That's the part.
Is that the alleged timeline of this movie?
Well, they present the timeline up front, and the whole thing happens within 18 hours. But Rey is off like hanging out with Luke for like 4 days.
It was like 4 nights there.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah, but we know from watching Interstellar that time in one place might be different from time in another place.
That's what I took away from
space time, guys. Space time.
She's doing her own separate time.
I don't know if I can handle this.
Son, this is factual. This is not even. I mean, the closer you get to the speed of light, right, the slower time is going to be. Right? If you can go past the speed of light, then you're going back in time. That's how it works.
Wouldn't Luke have not aged, or wouldn't he be affected by this time change? Like, I don't know. It was never set up. If it was explained that
no, it's like an Empire Strikes Back. Like he was in Dagobah for like a year. Like that's what they.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's how they set it up.
All I'm saying is, you could be on this planet. It is not only possible; it is the reality that one day on one planet totally equals different. 5 days on another planet. I mean, the whole point of Interstellar was that, right? If we go spend one day here, 30 years are going to pass over here. So this is actually mathematically possible.
But not presented in the world of Star Wars.
Not presented well.
Right.
Not presented well at all.
So I had a couple issues with like just the timeline of things, but I thought it was fun. It's like the non-Force enabled characters just fuck shit up. Like they think they're helping and they just end up making it worse.
So the thing that really bothered me was I felt the Poe Defiant stuff was over the top. You can't
over the top.
You can't have a mutiny in a military organization. Everyone leave with a smile.
Yeah,
like, that's not how that shit works.
Yeah.
Also, like that Leia doesn't
fired on dudes. Like the Admiral,
Poe could have been executed. Like that's
yeah. Also, Leia's just like men. Like
yeah. That was
like
too
that
much. It was over the top.
Yeah, just tell him. Like he's going on this whole mission.
Do you think that it was like there was a concerted
effort? Yeah,
concerted effort made for all the women to be in charge on the good guys team and all the men to be in charge on the bad guys team?
No,
Kathleen Kennedy, who's like the head of Lucasfilm.
Oh, you think that?
I think that's just like her being like, we got to present.
Because you have the guy who's like, I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to be brash, which is the masculine persona, which is the masculine energy. And they're showcasing how really dangerous this is to humanity if you have the patriarchy making the decisions. Let's let women make the decisions. First time we let a woman make decisions, Hillary Clinton tried to steal an election. But whatever.
They were also grooming him for leadership. Right?
Sorry.
But at the same time, they were still grooming him for leadership. Like at the end, he's like, "Oh, we got to go this way," and everyone looks to Leia, and she says,
"Follow him."
Great
point. Right? Okay, so maybe I think
the reality is in all of these Star Wars movies is that the real hero was Leia, always, and still is. That's the reality of all that.
Brings me to another gripe.
Yeah,
the Mary Poppins fucking.
I'm into it.
Flying
by that didn't bother me.
Superman. Yeah,
she is. Totally took me out of the fucking movie in that moment.
Really?
I was like, fuck this. Yeah.
I liked it.
See, what I like about Leia is that it's never really like acknowledged. You know she's Force enabled, right? Yeah. Force sensitive, but it's never really like she uses it when she like senses things. She never like flies. Like
so to this I felt was kind of an ode to the extended universe and so much and also how Luke projects himself across the
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
So this movie got into Force powers that they don't normally have explored before. So I liked it. I was like, okay, Leia is strong with the Force and that she's a Skywalker, and we got to see her do something that saved her life in her mission. And that didn't bother me, but I could see what you're saying.
There could have been a less goofy way to show your powers.
I thought it was going to turn into a musical at that moment. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
But because she's unfortunately passed in real life.
Well, that's the thing.
It was a crazy twist for me because I thought
she's dead. Boom. This is how we get through it. Yeah.
That's what I said too. I was like, all right. So obviously they didn't know she was going to die. They shot all her scenes. Why didn't they make the decision to
kill her off right there?
Kill her off in that moment.
No, because she's the real hero.
No, this is why she got the thing on her finger. She needed to get that back to the people. So there was the homing beacon.
Yeah.
So what I thought they were going to do is have her come back, let go of the homing beacon, and then she's dead. Yeah. And that would have been a smart way to kill off the character, get the homing beacon back to the people who need it so that Rey can come back, and now you don't have to deal with her or putting CGI on her face for the next movie.
Mm-hmm. But you already have a full movie worth of what she had given you.
And it affects...
and this is her last time on stage. Do you really want to just... All right, we're just going to cut all the scenes we did with her? You know what I'm saying? It's insensitive, I'd say, at the minimum.
Insensitive to the dead.
I guess, whatever. But
I'm just saying that's the tough decision you got to make as an exec, which
is they're not going to CGI her in the next one.
So then who's going to be her?
What's going to happen is my theory is that this is going to be like Return of the Jedi, where it's set a few years.
Oh, she's already died.
So it's not going to be right after the fact.
Oh, good call.
Right? It's gonna be she's gonna be have died somehow else. She's already started to pass the torch to Poe, and she's saved the rebellion. And now it's gonna be 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, and like Luke is probably from the other side continue to train Rey, and then we're gonna go on from there.
I would have given her a heroic death instead of like a bullshit.
The real loser in this is fucking shout out to General Akbar, bro.
Yo, dude,
guy's been in since episode.
He got a little mention. They're like, "Oh, Admiral Akbar died," and it's like, "What? What the fuck?"
He's a big deal.
Okay.
Also, not enough Chewie. Not enough Chewie.
Yeah, there was a lot of Chewie.
Wait, so any more gripes?
Those were my main ones, but
Haney,
I'm sure there were little things that I would pick up
because there's some things I want to discuss that I'm sure you guys, since you're Star Wars fans, understand about it. But
I got a lot of questions. Yeah. If I was a Star Wars fan like you guys, the gripe I would have is.
I love how you're going to project this gripe.
This is
projective gripes.
Yo, Mark Hamill's head to body ratio. He's really chesty. I couldn't take him seriously. They had that scene where he's chugging the milk, where he milks the thing.
Yeah, milks the teat. Yeah,
and then chugs the milk. Yo, I couldn't take him seriously the whole time. Like Luke Skywalker turned into a joke for me. And every time he come up, I'd be like, "Why is Zach Galifianakis' dad on the screen?" And
that's a contrarian take.
And why is his head so damn big?
The most people are saying giving Oscar buzz for his performance. Similar to like Sly Stallone and Creed.
Stop it.
It's also important.
I'm being dead serious when I tell you this.
Get the fuck out of here.
I thought his acting in the first half of the movie was so poor, it took me out of the movie. And I attributed it
when she first goes there, I could not take this guy seriously.
I couldn't take him seriously either, really.
I smirked and laughed. I smirked and laughed at how funny looking he looked.
Did not like it at all. I thought his acting was poor. And I thought that he just hadn't acted in a while, and he was just rusty.
Stage actor.
He does a lot of voice work.
This represents Mark Hamill's body. The top of this microphone is his head. This is his body.
No, man, he had a giant robe on.
Which should make the body look
bigger, but it doesn't.
The head still is this big.
Now he looks like a broom.
Are you criticizing him because you're the opposite?
Wow.
See how angry he's getting at this? Son, that's his boy you're talking about, son.
How dare I talk about Luke Skywalker like that? But that was I actually.
But I'm saying most people actually have applauded his performance.
Fam, I'm very objective. I got nothing to do with the thing, and I think half of the movie, the acting was awful.
First half
awful.
Of him.
His acting was awful, and then it got better. You know what was horrible? This dust off the shoulder scene after they shot him with all the lasers.
No, hold on.
Let me say one thing. Why? Dust off the shoulder, and nothing happens.
No dust there.
There's absolutely no dust.
He's a hologram. So yeah,
I know. But what I would have loved to happen was he does this, and all of a sudden every single gun bends in a certain way. There's some effect that happens because of the movement. But he was literally trying to brush dust off of his shoulder. Come on, we're not in it.
It was not great. So that's a minor thing.
So Alex didn't really like the movie. This is Alex's second time seeing the movie too. He thought it was very cliche and kind of like pandering towards kids a little bit.
Yeah.
Am I speaking wrong, Alex?
Yo, it's not pandering towards kids.
And that's a scene that, and I get why they're pandering towards kids. It should be pandering towards kids.
It's not just pandering towards kids. It's pandering towards the kid inside of you. I'm serious.
Gotcha.
That's when I watched this shit, I felt like a kid. Like that shit touched me like that.
But that scene is that.
You felt?
Brushing up.
Show me on Hani where it touched you.
No, man. Ryan Johnson fondled my inner child.
Okay, so let me just ask some questions. All right.
Also, real quick, I should have brought this up when we were talking about the fans' gripes, but famously, like when they were shooting the movie, Mark Hamill didn't agree with where
Hated
Luke's.
it.
Yeah,
no, they beefed Ryan Johnson and Hamill.
And so in interviews, he like kind of vocally said he didn't agree with Ryan's vision.
Oh,
for
that's
Luke.
why all the stands.
And
were
so
pissed.
now
They
everybody's
just do
like
whatever he says.
And so he's come out now saying he actually regrets saying that because it fueled the fire. And he was kind of one of those people that thought Luke should just be like the holy.
But Hamill's the one who goes to like these Star Wars expos. Like he's the ones that the fans identify with because he's still in that scene.
That's his identity.
It affects his retirement.
He never moved on.
What
else did Hamill do?
He does a lot of voice work. He does.
He's known as like he does like
it's like
famously
Jeremy
like the best
Piven
Joker
is
voice.
Ari from Entourage. You know what I mean? Like they start to attribute some of the characteristics of this famous character. So he, in a lot of ways, probably sees himself as this holy trinity or whatever it is, and he doesn't want to lose that. I get it. He doesn't want to be the bitch that almost kills his kid.
So is he gone?
Who's that?
Is Hamill in the third movie?
No. Here's the thing. We know now that Yoda, who can affect real life objects. He affected the fire. So now we know that Luke can come back as a Force ghost and directly affect things.
Just like it happened in the previous movies.
By the way, great that they used the puppet Yoda and now the CGI Yoda.
Fantastic.
Oh, they did a lot of puppet stuff in this movie on purpose, and I thought it was kind of cool. You have the best graphics in the world at your disposal, and you purposely use these like plastic.
It's the anti-George Lucas where he did everything CGI in the last trilogy.
That's what they learned from the prequel.
Yeah, that you don't need to do it.
It felt like it was a cartoon.
Yeah.
So I wasn't a big. I like Star Wars. I've seen all the Star Wars kind of growing up. Yoda was always my favorite. So that was the only part that the kid in me kind of got out. Yeah. When Yoda first popped out, that's when you got touched. You probably felt the whole fucking movie. That was the only time that I felt that feeling was when Yoda pops on the screen, and I just like got real giddy to myself.
Yeah, that's when you got diddled by Star Wars. Yeah.
All right. So this has been my thing with Star Wars, and every time I've seen these movies, again, I don't know anything about the backstory. I didn't know anything about the characters or anything. I was just a casual viewer. I'd turn on a TNT and a Star Wars movie would be on. I'd like listen, watch halfway through. And anytime they'd go to these like rebel outposts, right? It'd be like the Star Wars cantina or whatever. They'd be at some bar and they'd walk in. The music going. Two like aliens would get into a little argument. One alien would just shoot the other alien in the head. There'd be whores walking all around, right? And I'd have this visceral reaction, which was, maybe we need a little order. Maybe order's not bad. Right. Maybe what Darth Vader wants and maybe what the evil Empire wants is not essentially the wrong thing. You know, like every action is a reaction to what's happening, right? So maybe you have the galaxy in complete disarray. Of course, motherfuckers are going to come over and they're going to clamp down, just like with religion, right? Everybody's going crazy out there in the Middle East a few thousand years ago, and someone goes, "Hey, listen, no killing, no fucking your sister, no doing this, everybody chop the foreskin off." So I think that I think there's room to argue that there might be some order needed in the galaxy. Let's put that out there, and we'll discuss. And then I have something else on top of that.
So
this extreme freedom thing might be a little too much.
This is the only benefit of the first episodes 1 through 3. Yeah, is that you got to see a little bit of the insight of the Republic and what things were before the Empire came in the internal politics. Yeah, and what we learned was that it was a very imperfect system, and then you had Jedi acting out of place.
On their
own, being part of like, trade negotiations. Like they were doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing.
Right.
And then what we had was, in a time of crisis, they elected Palpatine to become the emperor temporarily, and then he obviously ran that power, killed everybody, and became the Empire. Right. But what you learn is both sides have had their problems ruling. Right. So when you're talking about what you're talking about, and like especially 4 through 6, when like Obi-Wan and thing, and they're in the bar. That's during the Emperor's rule, technically, right? So they're letting certain things go. Some things are important to them than others. So like this random outpost and like
they're like, we're not going to waste our resources on that shit.
That's like small potatoes.
Okay.
Whereas maybe the Republic is focusing too much time on that.
Yeah.
And trying to bring peace to these like random places. It's like Game of Thrones, right? It's like Marine, that whole thing. And then what we learned from this is now and this is the kind of the ode to history that this movie has, is that you just had peace in the galaxy after Return of the Jedi, right? They had the Battle of Endor, and then a year later, like it ended the whole wars. Now they've been ruling for like 30 years, the Republic, the New Republic. They're having issues again. The First Order kind of represents Germany post World War I, right? Where they're now like they didn't like they didn't.
Well, that was the next point I was going to make.
They didn't get rid of the Empire. Right. They put them in the outer realm, and like they put certain, like
restrictions on them economically. They created an environment,
and then now what the resistance is that it's a small galactic response because everyone's kind of turning a blind eye still.
Right.
And don't want to acknowledge their growing influence like Hitler because they don't want to get dragged into another galactic war.
Right. So they're ignoring.
But Leia sees the threat and has formed this small resistance to help combat it. It's a big fucking universe, man.
Yeah. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, so and now in the one that we've seen, which is episode 8. Right?
Yes.
Now the Empire has taken over the galaxy?
We don't know. I don't think we're there yet.
We don't know the extent of what
we know they're continuing to grow.
Yeah.
And we know the resistance that was created to help is now been badly beaten and taken a loss. They now presumably have to go back to the New Republic, and Leia is going to say, hey, we need more help or something.
So
we don't know where it's going to go from
there. There is still a New Republic that exists.
Yes.
Okay. The next thing I was thinking is it's interesting you bring up the World War II and the whole Hitler thing, because what was looked almost as pretty obvious from episode 7 when I was watching. No, it was episode 8. No, 7. That was the last one. Yeah, Force Awakens. Was that the empire is the United States of America, and Al Qaeda or ISIS or just random Middle Eastern countries are the resistance, the rebellion. And there was a moment, did you see when the Empire's has like their little car or something like that was driving through the town, everybody else is wearing like rags, their kind of faces covered, stuff like that. And you have random people just, setting off an explosive in front of it. And if you even look at this one, how many suicide bombings that we have? The whole thing opens up with a suicide bombing. Yeah. Shorty takes her plane, goes into hyperdrive, drives it right into the, what is it called? The
cannon.
Yeah. Well, no, before that.
No, the Dreadnought.
The Dreadnought, right? Yeah. And there's this great appreciation, and they have to run on faith and what could happen. Scene too, by the way. It was a great scene, amazing scene. I'm surprised they never did that before. But there's constant suicide bombings. Like, there's all these themes that going, you have, they're undermanned, they're underweaponed. Yeah. Even in the last battle scene, they're driving these rickety-ass little fucking...
It's like an insurgency. Right.
So... And I'm starting to wonder, it's like, well, who represents who? Are we the Empire now?
That's always been kind of the question a little bit. Obviously, like, there is a good side and a bad side, but there's always, like, the deeper question has always been, like, how good are the good guys?
Yeah. How bad and I think that's what Benicio del Toro was trying to talk about. He's like, both of y'all are shitty.
Yeah.
And that little town right there, maybe that was Switzerland.
Right.
Right? Like, I'm going to remain neutral. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to get rich. We're going to be Gucci. Everything's fine. But we're really pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm just saying, you could apply it really to what's going on right now. Now, Hani, you have more stake in the game in this question. What do you feel? How do you...
Next question.
No comment. I'd like to keep traveling. But what is your guys' response to that? Do you feel like there's a
I think it's always
correlation between those two?
The current, landscape, political landscape, it's always going to reflect the times, and that's basically what's happening now. But
I think it can be either or. I think it's your perspective can be either or.
What is your perspective watching?
Because my perspective was I don't think.
You think it's still a reflection of World War II and not?
I think you just naturally assume Nazi Germany when you look at the.
Look, I would prefer to assume that.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it was an episode. Episode 7. It was just like it was pretty blatantly obvious in this one scene. There you have these Empire soldiers patrolling, patrolling this foreign land that they have no business being there, and then you have it felt like I was watching a scene from what's a random war movie that is recently, well, not Saving Private Ryan, something more recent.
Black Hawk Down,
or the guy who disables the bombs, whatever that movie was.
Yeah, Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker. It felt like I was watching a scene from that, and. If that is the case, it's an interesting choice that Hollywood would pick that side to align the heroes with.
Yeah, I just think it looks like global power dynamics as a whole, and how it's always very tough to tell who's right, who's wrong, and what's the best decision. Even if you have the purest intentions,
it will be corrupted.
Something will happen where you have to make a hard decision that someone's going to get hurt and someone's not, right? And you have to try and do what's best for everyone.
Dude, every time they go to war, the rebels, they lose half of the people. It's insane. And there's no hug or kiss goodbye or nothing. It's shocking how much life is lost from the rebel side, no?
Yeah.
And it's constant. It never ends.
Constant.
Just like today.
There wasn't even enough for a full court game at the end of the movie. There was 9 of them inside the cave.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah. They couldn't run 5s.
They couldn't run 5s. Whew, heavy. Why? And it's weird. You don't care about life in this world.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
I thought about that this time, watching it this time. This is a kid's movie, kind of.
Yeah.
A lot of people die.
A lot of death, yeah.
Tons
They don't really
death.
show it ever.
They don't have, that's how
you maintain the
movies,
PG-13,
right?
Yeah.
It's not you see all this stuff dying, but then they don't ever show it, so you don't care.
Yeah.
And I've thought about that for that's kind of weird that we assume we don't
What makes
care.
us care?
Yeah, what makes us care? Seeing it actually makes us care.
It's more than seeing the person get killed. It's seeing it after. It's seeing the body dead.
Sure.
All this movie was playing Mindhunter, right? You start out, you have a bunch of squares, and then one battle, now there's half the squares. Another battle, now there's a quarter. Another battle, keep going.
Well, part of that is for the rating.
I totally agree.
It's got to be PG-13, so they can't show those things.
But it's also nicer to watch because it's not heavy.
You don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it. I want to have fun in this world.
No,
not Star Wars.
I agree.
That's not what I'm signing up for.
I just want them to float away and then eventually find a planet and then they'll do something else. But they're dead.
Yeah.
Like we saw thousands of people die in this episode.
Yeah.
Like every one of those carriers that was going to the planet that got blown up, that's what, a few hundred people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is this PG-13? This is a Holocaust we just watched. What? This is monstrous, dude.
It's a galactic war, man. You know, there's gonna be casualties. I don't know, man.
Oof.
That's fine.
We lost a whole wing to the Empire spaceship.
We sparked the light, though. We gotta start the new resistance.
Saying that's 20,000 people?
Yeah, man.
I wonder what the official body count is.
Son, how many people died in Hiroshima?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I don't know. It's a lot. I mean, I get it. We get where you're going with it.
Oof, it's heavy now. Doesn't the movie feel heavy?
Let's move on.
Yeah, this just took a turn.
Move on. So I have another bullshit gripe.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, Kylo Ren, first time he speaks, he has the mask on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His voice sounds exactly like Kanye's voice at the end of Runaway, where he just starts just like humming for like 8 minutes for no reason. That was exactly it. And I was kind of hoping I'd get that voice for like at least half the movie.
Yo, but I like that.
He takes the mask off and it's gone for the rest of the movie.
I like
why
that
is that bullshit, though?
Yo, basically,
Oh, you're saying it's a bullshit gripe. It's not really a real gripe. It's when you're upset with.
Yeah, it's not a
You
real
get to hear
gripe.
Kanye's
Yeah. I want to hear,
Okay.
I like that Kylo Ren is basically a Darth Vader fanboy, and he's like cosplaying. He like built this mask, and it's like old school. He's like paying homage to like what this used to represent. And then Snoke is like, take that shit off. What the fuck?
Well, the irony is
Snoke is walking around so fucking ugly. He's got a hole in the side of his face.
Yeah.
One of his eyes is just swollen, bulbous, and he's like, "We're not face covering here, guys.
Well,
this is what we
If
look
one
like."
person was going to cover their face, it would be fucking me.
Oh, you have a scar? I want that scene. Oh, does your scar look bad?
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
seen my mouth? There's a hole. I can't eat anything. It falls out the side of my face.
Yeah. What the fuck?
the irony is that Vader hated wearing that mask. That was a big thing.
Yeah,
hated
he had to wear it.
But why would he wear it?
He would wear it because he had to.
He
and
couldn't
he would
survive
spend
with
time
that.
meditating to heal his lungs so he wouldn't have to wear it.
How do you know this about him? You read his fucking diary? What the hell is going on here?
No, so
Was that in the
Vader
movie?
diaries?
Am I missing the scene with a quill? A quill by itself is just writing, and Vader's in a corner like this,
if you get bored,
weeping.
if you get bored, there's random things on the internet you can look up.
Let me tell you something. I will never be so bored that I'm going to research
That you would look
Vader
up
diaries.
Vader's breathing techniques.
what does Vader do in his free time?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
that was the thing. That
You
was- that was-
Googled it?
yeah.
Who is allowed to contribute? Is it Wikipedia? Can we go write something about
Well,
Vader? and have
it's
it
called
come-
Wikipedia.
Well, what's it called?
God.
Yeah.
No.
No, like a Wookiee.
Like-
No, I mean,
Oh,
like,
like a
who is
Wookiee.
allowed to contribute to the universe? Can we make something up about Vader's private life, and
that's the
then
thing.
it becomes part of it?
Well,
Who's
yeah,
That's why the
grandfathered in?
canon got controlled by Disney because they were like, wait, this is all over the place.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
basically it became
many
like,
things
yeah.
happen.
Have you ever gone to any of these Star Wars convention things?
No.
Yo, I'm about to piss my pants. I'll be right back. I gotta take it.
Why haven't you? Because you seem like
so unprofessional.
What?
Why haven't you gone to one of these things?
Yo, man, because like I don't really want to like interact with people. It's like a personal relationship I have with
Gotcha.
Star Wars. I don't need
This
to
is
see
the
people
thing.
to
Gotcha.
talk about it.
Gotcha.
People build their own like lightsaber and stuff. You could buy like a custom lightsaber on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't care about that.
You don't want to be
I
associated.
don't want to
with,
be like see people. Like what are we gonna do? Like we just talk about this shit.
You don't want to be
I'm doing it
associated with
here.
this level of nerd. You
Yeah.
want to secretly be a nerd about this.
Yeah, I just don't see the. I just don't.
But
see,
you can have these nuanced conversations that you might really enjoy. I feel like
This
you
sounds
might.
I'd rather just have them in my head.
Like I knew you were a Star Wars guy coming into this. I didn't know it was this level.
Yeah.
So it's it sounds
But
like it was.
You
know.
speak on it on a level that how do I say it's more intellectual than dork.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
for
what I mean?
sure.
Like no, like you
for
really
sure.
understand backstory, you understand character arc, and it's
Yo, something that interests me. It's something that I
you don't have to defend it. What I'm saying, it's the
No.
greatest movie franchise in history. Clearly, there's something going on here that's right, and people are into.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you might find joy talking to other people who know just as much about it as you, instead of explaining it to a couple mooks over here.
Yo, another question
Nah.
for you. Who's Chrome Dome? So you know when he
Brienne of fucking Tarth.
Yeah.
That's who it is.
wait, what?
That's
Yeah.
Brienne of Tarth.
The
Chrome
actor,
Dome
you're
is
saying?
Brienne of Tarth?
Yeah.
You're asking who
That
the
is her.
actress was?
No, I just like who is that? Like
Oh.
they peeled off the. So you can see
She's
the
like
eye-
the
eye contact for a reason.
stormtrooper command. I don't know.
She was in she was in Seven
Yeah,
too,
she was
right?
in Seven.
Yeah, yeah.
It goes
they-
back. Sorry, go ahead.
They lingered on the eye for a while. So it's like, am I supposed to know who this is? This
Brienne
seems
of
like a
Tarth.
thing. Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
Amazing. Also, did you know that
Justin Theroux?
the mother of the prince that was promised, Lisa Aaron? Robin's the prince that was promised.
Yeah.
Right?
The mom.
Lisa Aaron
was in it. She was at the.
She's in
desk.
She's in the first 5 minutes.
Son, do you know how many real actors that you don't even like? Prince Harry is in this one.
Daniel Craig, isn't he?
Daniel Craig was in the last one.
Wait a minute, Prince Harry?
Yeah.
Who is he?
He's one of the stormtroopers.
He's the random stormtroopers. They just grab people and they put the helmet on. And you know, in the last one, you remember when Rey is prisoned and she finds the Force for the first time, and she tells the stormtrooper, "You're gonna unlock these cuffs and drop your weapon and walk out," or whatever she says.
No, but keep going.
You don't remember that?
No,
and the stormtrooper laughs at first, and then she says it again, and the stormtrooper does. That's Daniel Craig.
So he just wanted to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Yo, the guy, the master coder breaker guy that they went
Justin
to go
Theroux.
get. That's Justin Theroux.
Yeah. Pointed that out.
That was Justin Theroux.
Yeah.
No words. He
Little
just like,
help on the hairline.
I'm just gonna look.
Little help on the hairline, Justin. I noticed that.
Shout out to him.
I didn't know that was Brandon Tarth.
Yo, there's a lot of.
Who else? What are the other cameos that I might have missed?
It's like Simon Pegg is in the first one. He's one of the in the desert.
There's a whole list. Yeah. You could look it up. I mean, there's like a lot of different people.
Who invents the animals? That's such a clever job.
That's those are toys.
Yeah, those are toys. But so is.
Oh, they all exist? Every one of these animals?
No, they're going to be toys now.
Yeah.
They're going to be in fucking.
Yeah, they exist. Yeah, they go deep with the toy. Like, there's people who collect.
Like the ice dogs. Like those. Those already existed.
Yeah. No.
No.
My point is, like, there is a team, right? And it's their sole job to invent animals for this universe.
Correct.
Yeah.
To invent, that will be toys or whatever, but they're inventing animals for the universe. What a cool job if that's what you. I mean, just think of the craziest fish person and then put them together.
The nuns. I love the nuns.
They nailed the pork.
The nuns?
The caretakers of the Jedi. Well, I called them nuns.
The ones that Rey kept.
Fucking with. Dude, I was remember when the rock fell. I lost it.
What were the other animals on that island? Like the little like guinea pig looking
porgs.
Porgs.
Oh yeah.
I like
Chewie was eating
Cornish hens. Yeah.
That was great.
But yeah, the Brianna Tarth character is just a toy. Like they just needed a Boba Fett style, like cool looking stormtrooper that's different than the rest.
Correct. Very good. It was Boba Fett style,
but zero substance in terms of that character. She just dies, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Driver's the best, and that's it.
Here's a question I have that's not about this one. It's about a past. It's about a past Star Wars. Since I have some Star Wars fiends here.
Marco is like about to rewrite the book of Star Wars. Like, he's about to teach a class.
I've read some of the literature.
Okay, so here the literature. Piece of shit.
The Legacy of the Force series. I read most of those books.
Okay, in the 1 through 3.
Yeah.
There's a character which is what's his name? The goofy one.
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks. And I saw this random YouTube clip where it said that Jar Jar Binks is the other Sith Lord.
No, is the ultimate Sith Lord. He's
or is the ultimate Sith Lord. Yeah. That now this is an internet rumor. Maybe you guys could offer some more clarity to this. What I'm trying to say. One, is it true, and what is there to back it up?
No.
I don't think it's true, but I love that it's like a conspiracy.
Break down the conspiracy though for everybody's listening.
I don't know about it. That really.
There's a video online. This guy breaks it down. Basically, he's like playing the like drunken idiot the whole time.
Yeah.
But really, he's like the ultimate Sith Lord, like the master manipulator behind the entire.
I'm gonna get the video. I'm gonna get the video. We come on, but keep on going.
It's crazy. Like a lot of stuff lines up. Like they go to like specific scenes, and like when he's in fights, he just manages to like kill a bunch of people by like doing like.
Random shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that there's like, it's definitely not what was intended for the character.
It's not intended.
But for the most hated character probably in anything ever.
It's him.
It's him. Yeah. And the fact that they could find like a cool take on why he was.
Do something.
Yeah. So I like that. I like that that's like a thing.
They're grasping at straws.
You really don't think there's anything to it?
I know there's not.
How?
Have you seen the video?
No.
I'm going to get it up right now.
After the video, Marco's going to be like, oh, shit.
He's immediately after. No, he's definitely a Sith Lord.
Are we going to watch this on the podcast?
Up around the internet right now about how Jar Jar Binks may actually
it's always the same voice on these videos, if you notice. It's always like, he's like, one guy, he's like, I've been doing a lot of thinking about Jar Jar Binks.
So here it is. This is the airtight, is the most powerful Sith master in the universe. First of all, Jar Jar executes a 20-foot twisting somersault through the air that, if performed by any other character, you would assume they were either a Jedi or a Sith. As we know, the Jedi themselves are inspired by Shaolin monks, and a convincing theory is that Jar Jar is based off of another traditional martial arts discipline called Z-Quan. Jar Jar almost single-handedly takes out half a droid army using moves clearly taught in Z-Quan. Z-Quan, or Drunken Fist, uses stumbling and staggering as body momentum to be deceptive, unpredictable, and to confuse opponents. And Jar Jar mysteriously is extremely efficient in killing every single time that he is in danger. And as Obi-Wan told us, there is no such thing as luck.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
In another scene, Jar Jar seems to fall from a bridge, although we have seen this done on purpose before by Jedi. And Jar Jar also falls in a completely different place than where he was dangling from. We can prove this because droids can be seen shooting at his original location, and their heads even follow him jump to the other side. Jar Jar could have used a force jump, as we've seen multiple times before by Jedi. Jar Jar is also seen using sleight of hand movements and Jedi mind tricks during key plot points to influence the plot and change people's minds. He even uses them when he is promoted to general, when he's promoted to senator, and while he's persuading an entire galactic senate. Along with using the Force via sleight of hand, Jar Jar is also seen in multiple scenes using Jedi mind control to influence what people say, therefore changing the outcome of important events.
The Queen wishes it. She's curious about the planet.
Look at his mouth. Yo, why would his mouth be moving, fam? I saw it in the wide.
But the voice that's coming out.
Jar Jar's own species are deathly afraid of him. Seems like less of a reaction to seeing the village idiot and more of a reaction to seeing somebody that you should be very afraid of. Jar Jar mocks Qui-Gon's ability to use the Force, perhaps because Qui-Gon's Force abilities pale in comparison of his own.
The Force will guide us. Oh, Maxie bit the Force.
If you were wondering why a Sith Master would act like an idiot like Jar Jar does, it's clear that he is just fooling the Jedi so he can manipulate them into trusting him.
You hear that?
Yeah? Clumsy.
You were banished because you were clumsy.
He even pretends to be scared in a deleted scene where his ship is going to fall over a waterfall, even though he can jump 20 feet through the air and he can swim and breathe underwater. Jar Jar also mocks Qui-Gon behind his back and in front of Anakin, teaching Anakin early to disrespect Jedi authority. Jar Jar tells Anakin, an 8-year-old boy, that Padme is hot, fanning the flames for Anakin's infatuation for Padme that is exploited later. Jar Jar also talks to and is very interested in Padme, even before it is revealed that Padme is the real queen. Jar Jar also influences Padme's decision-making when she's at her most uncertain.
We got a grand army.
I've decided to go back to Naboo.
Jar Jar senses that the Jedi are coming without any warnings. He could not have known in any way that they were coming, and he even walks up to the elevator seconds before the Jedi arrive, then pretends to be surprised to see them. When they're escaping Naboo, Jar Jar is the one who sabotages the hyperdrive, which forces them to land on Tatooine in the first place where they meet Anakin. Not to mention Jar Jar is the reason they keep running into Anakin. Jar Jar is seen suspiciously fiddling around in the back of the ship moments before the hyperdrive mysteriously breaks. R2-D2 even notices he was doing something suspicious, so he gives him a well-deserved smack before he is forced to leave in the elevator to fix the ship's shield generator. In fact, every droid Jar Jar...
Anything?
No. I don't care.
Nothing to it.
I mean, it's cool and creative how he did it. I'll give him that. But, like, there's no way that that's the intent.
It's a dude with a lot of time on his hands, but I think it's fun. I think it's fun. It's funny. Yeah. It's not to be taken seriously, but I like that it exists as a theory.
It's definitely creative. I'll give him that.
But you don't think there's any truth for it whatsoever? No.
I don't think George Lucas was.
I thought there's always two Sith Lords.
It was. Palpatine was always the main.
And then who's the second?
And then there was Darth Maul. And then there was Count Dooku. And then there was Anakin.
Wait a minute. What are you saying no to?
Nothing. I'm just like shaking my head like
he's talking to the mic.
He's around these names off the top of his head.
Yeah, I can't even remember the names of this movie. What was her name? The pretty girl?
Yeah.
Huh?
Count Dooku?
And the black guy? What was his name?
He was the Jedi that was turned. Who Anakin kills in the third one. All right.
Damn.
You didn't watch it. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Damn, son. Damn. All right. Well, anything else?
You doing Bright?
I think we should do Bright by itself. We had a great long conversation about this. Let's do Bright by itself. No?
That's fine.
That's fine.
I think, how long is this one? Yeah, we got a full epi. Let's stretch this shit out, baby. Listen, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of WesterBros. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about it, tell the world. Again, if you have any hookups in the theaters in New York City area, any ideas of shows, films that you want us to check out and review, always send those to us. I'm gonna let the guys give them your Instagram so you could slide up in it.
Yeah, at Jack Leary, at Jay Learius on Twitter.
I got 5 passports on Instagram.
You still haven't changed? Dude, you changed it in one night.
He hasn't changed it. And Marco, nothing? Nothing. Mine is Andrew Schulz. Make sure you hit us up. Thank you guys so much for listening. Keep subscribing and keep spreading the words. This has been another episode of WesterBros. What are we doing real quick just for the future so we can let people... Oh, we're going to do Bright.
We got rom-com.
Real quick. We're going to do Bright. So make sure if you haven't seen Bright on Netflix with Will Smith and Joel Edgerton, make sure you see that immediately. So we're going to review Bright. That's going to come up as well.
Trash. Sorry.
What's that?
Trash.
You are so off with that. You are so off. It was so good. We'll get into it. I don't want to ruin it all right now. But we're going to do Bright. And I like that we already have some divisiveness. We also have, if you haven't listened already, we did Stranger Things. We did a live binge of that. That was wild. And we have, what's it called? What did we do yesterday? Oh, yeah. We did season 4 of Black Mirror. So coming up, we're going to do which movies? We
got Valentine's Day special.
We got the Valentine's Day special. We're going to see a movie called About Time and maybe a couple others.
Well, we're each going to pick our own.
Okay, we each put our maybe watch it, but start with About Time. Check that out because that's definitely going to be part of it. And then in the coming days, we'll let you guys know which other ones to watch.
Black Panther comes out.
Yep,
Black Panther. We'll go check that one out for sure. See if my theory is true. Everybody's giving me a lot of shit about it.
A lot of shit. You gotta check yourself, man.
A lot of shit about it. You can't have an opinion. Can't have an opinion. Listen, his fucking superpower sucks. You saw it in the preview today. His stupid nails come. Ooh, I'm scared now. This guy has a manicure. Hey. What is he going to do to me?
By the way, you know,
I think he's got more than that.
He literally goes, ching. Okay, you bad bitch.
By the way,
what are you gonna do? Snap your fingers and be sassy with your long nails?
You're
Fuck out of
doubling
here.
down on the Black Panther.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yo, you know who's in the soundtrack, right?
Who? Kendrick. Yeah.
He did the whole soundtrack.
He's curating the soundtrack.
All right, so I'll watch it with my eyes closed. Look, we'll get there.
Yo,
what is the movie?
I promise you, you're gonna love that fucking movie.
I know I'll probably love the movie, but his superpower is so trash. Go.
I mean, looking forward, we got Westworld.
Oh, Westworld, but yeah. What else?
We got.
Do you guys want to do like an Oscar? Like once all.
Yeah,
I think we should do an award season. Like, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Pick something. No.
How we gonna watch any of those movies, bro?
I got all the screeners.
I've seen like.
I'm not watching any of them
most
fucking
of them.
movies.
No, I think it could be cool to pick a random movie and then all of us watch it because we could trash the fuck out of it. Yeah, but have the people that are watching with us go through that experience as well. Sure. So we'll pick a movie, make sure that and that's why you guys got to follow us on Instagram and that kind of stuff because we're going to tell you guys what we're going to end up watching. What else? Anything else? I think Dark. People are saying Dark on Netflix is really good.
Maybe we'll check. We'll see if it's good.
What y'all think about that? Interest?
Yeah,
I'm interested in it. If it's good, I'll watch an episode or two and see.
Okay. Anything else? Any other TV shows and movies coming up that we got to talk
I don't know if it's a movie we're going to review because it doesn't really make sense, but I'm mad hyped for Sicario too.
Oh,
Sicario 2,
absolutely. Love Benicio.
Oh,
Let's
my
go.
God.
WesterBros.
Yo, Benice.
Unhinged. Take the handcuffs off.
Oh, yeah. Let him rock. No stutter.
Yeah, that was a weird little character trope.
I loved it. I loved it.
I didn't love the starter. If you want to harp on
it seemed like he didn't even commit to it. It was like twice.
Yeah,
you're like, that's weird.
It came at random times.
Well, it starts the sentence, the stutter.
Oh, does it?
It start then again. I just think it's cool when characters make choices, and like he wanted, like Benicio's great at like stealing a scene, not stealing, but like he's great at just being the most interesting thing about a scene. He just takes his time with the lines. It's really special. So like I always think about when I'm doing a character, like what can I do? What kind of tics can I have? It doesn't have to be that severe, but just something to give him a little something extra. And it was just cool that he would do that with that character. Fucking amazing. Anyway, is that it, guys? Are we done?
Yep. Let's go get some food.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of WesterBros. Spread the word. Peace. Oh, real quick, Alex Media. Make sure you follow Alex on Instagram. Follow him on Twitter. He posts all clips from the shows. He does his own stuff on there that I don't know because I don't follow him. But y'all should. No, I'm just joking. I follow. Make sure you follow him. Alex Media. It's 2 X's. ALEXX Media. All right. Peace.